Hi everyone, we're here with Chung, who's speaking through my mum. I'm Jerome Zoran and I'm here helping all of these beautiful teachings get out to the world. Think of me as like a messenger, just helping you all and just serving in the great awakening of our beautiful people here on earth. And I wanted to ask Chung Fu, what is an ascended master? And how can Chung Fu, who's speaking through Sally is a deep trance medium, how can Chung Fu get that incredible access, you could say, to the divine and to different beings? We have beings that emanate and bring teachings from Venus, Arcturus, Pleiades, and also many other realms of color from across the cosmos. And so we're really talking about, in this little transmission, how can Chung Fu, in that sense, communicate and aid the vehicle? We call my mum here, we also call her the vehicle for Chung Fu, but how he can communicate and aid the angel and archangel presences to come in and speak through Sally. Thank you, Chung Fu.
Blessings and peace, dear ones. And you said, well, what is an ascended master? You know, I didn't give myself that title. I just need to say that, beloved. I do not really agree with titles. I'm an ascended being, and I am master of certain aspects in that sense of the physical plane, because I managed to actually ascend while in my physical body. So a mastery is something brought in regards to a task, something that you can, in a sense, teach. And so from that point of view, I am trying to help you be masters, really. And yes, I have some mastery too, and I want to share that with you. So in terms of abundance and prosperity, which of course is a very important subject for you all, especially when there is an active agenda to stop you being prosperous, that becomes an extremely important mastery for you to gain. It is a mastery of consciousness. It is a mastery of frequency. And in many senses, you arrive at the frequency that you are, and you're not aware necessarily of why you carry particular frequency that we could call poverty or lack or riches and abundance. You arrive in that sense with a consciousness that you have created perhaps in another life, or perhaps earlier in this life, or perhaps you've also, in that sense, downloaded it from an ancestral source. In your family, there might be a lot of that kind of energy, whichever one it is. And it's to realize, well, if you want to change your consciousness from what we might call a poverty or lack consciousness into an expectation and a receptivity for plenty, for abundance, for thriving, for the fullness, as opposed to the emptiness, well, you can already hear it in what I'm saying. You have to change the way you think. You have to change your attitude. But that changing of the attitude involves a lot of emotion, in fact. It is an emotional movement. First thing, of course, again, following the principle of finding the place of pain, finding the place of imbalance, is to be very compassionate towards yourself and to come inside and really feel, well, who is that hasn't got enough? Who is that inside you that is feeling perhaps it's an unfair, unjust world, feels wounded, feels neglected, and doesn't know how to get out of that vibration? How do you get out of it? How do you get into the frequency of plenty, of abundance, of prosperity, of thriving? And I'm sure that many of you have studied this as well, because it is a necessary subject really to study, to understand where are you within the array of possibilities of, those degrees, those frequencies of consciousness. And it's all very well to say, well, you just need to be abundant, you just need to change your thinking, and that's easy. Some of the gurus will say to you, and perhaps for some of you it is easy. But I'm really speaking to those who find it difficult, who cannot really tell a lie. You can't just sit there and say, well, I'm really abundant, when you don't feel abundant. And so the next thing to understand is that principle of total honesty, ownership, of coming into possession and presence with the part of you, not as the part of you that's feeling poverty-stricken, but with the part of you that's feeling the lack and the emptiness. So arriving, coming in, understanding that there is an aspect, it's not all of you, otherwise you wouldn't be investigating and searching how to change it. But there is a part of you that is definitely holding an energy that says, I'm in this place and I don't know how to move out of it. So you're going to, in that sense, bring assistance to that part of your being, because that part of your being is calling to you through these feelings of, I don't have enough and I don't know how to do it. And so it's first of all realizing, if you suppress those feelings and you pretend they're not there, they're just going to come more. So you do have to honor the fact that you have these feelings, but you don't have to be the feelings. And that is a subtlety that's really important to understand. Once you realize, right, I see, I do have this part of myself. I own that I have this part of myself. So I'm just going to go over there. I'm going to wake up my higher self and say, hey, can you come and work with this part of myself? Because I know also somewhere in my being, I have plenty. I am born of the divine source. I am born of the abundance of light, of the spirit divine, of the creator being at the center of all that is, this vast being that is plentiful, that is abundant, that has created the whole universe. And as you think of that and realize, the next thing you realize is, oh, I'm part of that being. I am one with the divine. So within me, I have this access to extraordinary, overflowing abundance of all that I can imagine. At this point, you're really not, in a sense, doing anything other than realizing this connection to divine abundance, that you are it. So here you're allowed to identify, you are that. You're looking at part of you that got stuck in believing she is something else. This part of you at some point identified so much with poverty, with lack, with neglect, with feeling abused and down and downtrodden, that literally you embodied that being. It became real. You manifested it in your life. What matters is, can you track back? Can you see where that started? You know, it's like when, you're knitting and you lose a stitch and the whole thing unravels. You have to go back to that point and knit it again. So this is where you have great compassion, great understanding, no self-judgment. You simply know it was made in me somehow, by myself, in a past life, or in my environment, by the ancestors surrounding me, or it's just inside me, in my blood, it's somehow in my memory. And you take that light to that place and you blast that place with that beautiful light of abundance. And you say to that part of you, come home. Come, let me treat you. Let me bring you the light, the abundance of my divine prosperity. Come. And feel yourself literally giving that part of yourself vast amounts of wealth and of everything that she is crying out for. Blessings and peace. Hi everyone, I hope you loved that transmission from Chung. I'm really excited because I'm moving now towards delivering the webinar for you. And the webinar is going to be this Saturday, February the 10th at 7 p.m. I really look forward to seeing you there, answering your questions while I present to you the heart's path to enlightenment. Blessings and love.